Hi, this is Alydia Rackham, and welcome to this week's novel writing tutorial. So today we're going to talk about the wall. And it's a very scary thing to some people because it happens and then they freak out and they think that something is terribly wrong. So it's a big deal for people, and so I want to spend a little bit of time on it. First of all, I want to tell you though that there's this term called writer's block, and I want to tell you that it's a myth. Okay? It is what you call a misdiagnosis, and the idea just is that suddenly, for some reason, for no reason at all, you just can't write. You were writing fine, and then you sit down and all of a sudden nothing works, everything you write is stupid, or you even can't get anything out at all. So what I'm here to tell you is that something like that is not inexplicable. It doesn't happen for no reason at all, and it isn't unsolvable. You can do something about it if you can figure out, just like with a sickness, what caused it and how to go to the source to cure it. So as long as we're going with the disease or sickness metaphor, we can start with something called early detection, right? So if you can sense the symptoms early on, then you can fix them early before you get really sick and in a big problem. The earliest symptoms, I would say, are the sort of start, stop that starts happening. Say that you're going along great, everything is flowing, everything's good, and then all of a sudden you start feeling funny, and you stop a little bit and it sort of feels funny, but then you're like, well, okay, I'm gonna keep going a little bit, and that still feels and you're just not flowing as good as you were before. Now this could be caused because you just entered a new setting or something, and that's fine because you're just trying to get your bearings. But if you're in a setting that you already know and you're talking with characters that you already know and this issue is happening, you need to stop. You need to stop and go back and reread. Don't ignore that feeling because something has gone wrong, and it could be something tiny. It could be literally one phrase of dialogue that when you go back and study it is not quite in character for that person. Either they shouldn't be saying it yet or they shouldn't be saying it at all. And you'll find that if you go back and fix that little section, then all of a sudden everything, it's like this release. It feels right again. So pay attention. It's like paying attention to your health. Pay attention to your body and pay attention to the feelings that you are getting whilst you're writing. If you just ignore stuff and keep going, it will ball up on you and get really bad, and then all of a sudden the people that you started out with are not the people that you're writing right now, and it's just a stupid mess. Here's another thing that can result in a start, stop, or like just a stop altogether, and that's if your characters are developing in a way that is slightly contrary or completely contrary to your outline. Now, I am not talking about them running the asylum like last time. I'm talking about you and them together, because you are now down in the nitty-gritty, in the dirt and the realism of the plot and the setting. If somehow because of that zoomed in view that they are developing in a different way, there's two things that you can't do. You cannot force them into your outline. Like, I don't care if you're starting to develop feelings for this different person. If you like this person better than this one, I made you to go with this person, so dadgummit, you're gonna go with that person. No, don't do that. Don't do that, because the story that you are writing is not developing that way, and your readers will sense that. But there's another side to that coin, because if your character is starting to like someone that they're not supposed to like, and who they're supposed to like is integral to your story, this is your story, then you, my friend, have been playing with them. And that's not okay. You've been teasing and over here and teasing over there. And you need to go back, and that's the thing that you have messed up. Like, you had so-and-so flirt with this other person, and that's not in your outline, but you did it anyway because you thought, oh, that'll be kind of funny. And you screwed that up. So then you sent your character down the dark path. And that shouldn't have happened. So you need to go back there and nip it in the bud. Don't try to fix it now. Go back there and get your guy back on the right track, falling in love with the right girl, who's probably a very nice girl, and you sent him after some kitchen wench because you're not paying attention to your outline. So that falls into the category of go back and fix what you screwed up. That's not the character's fault, that's your fault. The second thing you can't do is to just toss your outline and just try to wing it. That will also cause you to get all sorts of weird feelings in your stomach. They're really red flags. Stop, 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 stop. We're lost. You know, it's like the person in the passenger seat going, wait, maybe we should stop and ask for directions. So don't be the person that says, I don't need directions, we're just going to keep going. Don't be like that. You need to stop and rework that outline. Now that you have a different perspective on things, get down there and work on that outline and rework it so that it works. Then you can keep going. But either one of those other ways will cause you to stop and feel weird about it, and then you don't know why. So those are a couple symptoms that might cause what we call writer's block. The uncomfortable feeling that you get because you took a wrong turn somewhere back there. It's not a drastic wrong turn, but it's a slight wrong turn, and it will ball up on you and get bad. Another one is that your characters, now that they're down in the setting and so are you, are sort of developing in another direction, and instead of going with them, then you try to force them into your outline, or you wing it. So don't do any of those things. Another reason that you might suddenly look at your computer screen and go, it's because you're tired. We're relating this to the body. That's the theme of today. So it's just like an athlete. If an athlete is out there just, well, they need rest and they need replenishment. Otherwise, you will have injury. And severe injury sometimes that stops you altogether and then requires rehab and rebuilding all these things that, you know, like pulled or torn muscles or ligaments, or you don't want to do that. If you feel like you're just exhausted and for some reason things are not flowing, you need to replenish yourself. Now, that means that you need to take a specific amount of time off. Don't even look at the thing. Don't look at your story. Don't look at it. Like short term, if you're feeling that way, but not majorly, but just sort of, the old fixes are long walks and hot baths. I don't know how many awesome things have happened whilst I'm walking or in the bath. I'm like, aha! You know, that's the way to do it. Engage that body again. Take long walks through the park, in places where you don't really have to worry about the traffic, and just don't even really think about it. Just let your mind wander and chill. Same with the bath. If you're really feeling burnt out, don't make yourself keep going. Don't do it. You need to set it aside for a week, and in that time, don't necessarily read stuff because that's burdensome again, but pull out some old movies that you like and watch those. Go see a new one if it's good. Try a new TV show. Just leave it alone. But you need to replenish yourself creatively. Try some art. Do that instead. Instead of writing, paint something, draw something, sculpt something, anything like that. Or write letters to your friends. Write in a journal. Just reroute some of that in very relaxing ways. This is a spa for the writer's mind. And don't panic. Don't freak out. The story will still be there. that's why it's good to put like a time limit on it. Be like, for this week, not like indefinitely, but for this week, I need to just and breathe. Now, here's where we're going to come to the title of this, which is The Wall. And we're going with the athlete theme again. When marathon runners are almost done with the marathon, they hit what's called the wall. And I'm pretty sure all of them do this. And it has nothing to do with anything except for the body's capacity to run that distance. It literally happens to marathon runners, no matter how many marathons they've run. There's this point at which your body goes, oh! The runner has to know that. They have to recognize, okay, at this point, I'm going to hit that feeling, but I have to keep going through it. The exact same thing happens with a novel. You get to a point where you are almost done. You could be like right up into the climax or even in it. But usually it's before the climax. Usually it's before the climax, building up to it. And you've already put in a lot of miles, and you've done all this, all that getting ready beforehand, and now you've developed your characters, you're in there and you're going, and you should be building momentum. But you hit this and you suddenly get the feeling like all your enthusiasm goes, and then you sort of look at it like, I am sick of this. Why am I sick of this? Is this boring? This must be boring. My characters are bored. I'm bored. This must not be very compelling. Oh my word. Have I completely wasted my time? Is this whole thing just a great big waste of time, and it's a stupid story, and oh no, I just should stop and throw it away and never write again. So those are all lies. None of that is true. It literally is not true. It's just you. It's your endurance. It's the story has pulled so much out of you already. This is my cat's ears, by the way. No, yeah, say hi. She has been my companion through much writing, sitting right here on my lap. But so she knows what I'm talking about. And this happens to me. I don't know how many stories I've written, but it happens every single time. And it's annoying after a while because I know what it is. You just get to it and you're like, oh God, there it is again. It's like a flat tire. But yeah, it's not that your engine's bad. It's that you've got a flat tire. So, and it's just you. It's got you. The story itself, there's probably nothing the matter with it. If it happens at that particular time, there's nothing wrong with your story. There's nothing wrong. So, different than before. You have to keep going. You cannot, I mean, you could take maybe a day and recharge, work on something else, watch a movie if you're just totally not feeling it. But the best thing you can do is talk to a friend about it who's been, with you in this, bounce ideas off of them, and then hear their enthusiasm for it. So, oh, you know what? I just cannot wait to find out what's going to happen. So they're like, oh, well, okay. Someone's excited about it. But don't wait long. You need to keep going, because what you're tired of is the buildup, and you're ready for that climax. As soon as you hit that climax, it's like going downhill. You're like, oh yes! And that climax will just right itself in a fury. But you really are. You're at the very top, right about to the top of the hill, and it hurts, and you're in pain, and you're just oh God, clawing your way up. Right, you're right there, and you don't want to give up right as you're about to go to the fun part. So yeah, this is like a long distance race. This is not a sprint. And right when it gets hard like that, right before the climax, you have got to push through and do it. Can't be artsy, can't be sensitive. You gotta be tough and you gotta do it. Now, if you feel something rocky happening, whatever, you can always fix that later. But don't stop. Don't start bleeding right there, and don't die right at the ridge of the hill. Go. Keep going. You'll make it, and then it'll be easy. Alright, so there's no such thing as writer's block that just happens for no reason. It happens for a reason, and it happens because you've ignored your gut. So early on, if you start feeling funny, stop, rewind, reread, and figure out if there's something that went a little bit wrong back there. Or if you're sensing that you are burning yourself out, take a break of like a week, watch some movies, go out and do some fun stuff, go on walks, take hot baths, chill yourself out, and have a spa. And then start in again. Not indefinitely, but just for a week. If you are right up on that climax and you just smack into it and you just have complete doubts that anything is ever going to work out and the whole thing is horrible, you've hit the wall, like my bird just did. You've hit the wall, and you must not rest, and you must not give up. You must go. You must keep going and claw your way up through and get over the top of the hill, and then it gets really fun and exciting from there. So don't give up right there. Don't think that it's all worthless. This is the hardest part. So keep going. You can do it.